Whoa, what's up, Xander? How's it going, dude? Two people. Who else is here besides Xander? Lord Snacks? What's up? Who is that? I don't think I've ever seen you before. At least not on any of my streams. What's up, Lord Snacks? How's it going, dude? Do you eat a lot of snacks? You're the Lord of Snacks? Lord of Cheesy Poofs? Hey, what's up? What's up, Xavier? Long time no see. I honestly, dude, I don't really remember you, man. Xavier? Who are you? I don't remember seeing you before, man. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, I got a late start today, guys. Ugh. I usually I want to be on the road by 6 o'clock. What the hell are you people doing? Come on, the light's green. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm not very tolerant of people who don't respond quickly to changing lights. My wife gets mad if I honk the horn. If someone isn't, usually I have like a kind of a rule of thumb where, like, if you don't pull away like 2 seconds after the light turns green, then I'm gonna start honking my horn at you. Because, like, literally, if you're paying attention to the road, you should be able to see the light turn green and start going right away. There's no reason for you to have to wait like multiple seconds to go after a light starts turning green. She gets mad or scared. She's like, "Oh my God, don't beat the horn." It's like, well, they're not going anywhere. Move, snitch, get out the way. Get out the way, snitch, get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Hey, what's up, Preston? How's it going, dude? So how are you guys doing this morning? Did someone leave? Did Lord Snacks leave? Or did Xavier leave? How you guys doing this morning, man? You nice and wide and awake? I know I'm not necessarily wide awake. Oh boy. I probably got like maybe 6 hours of sleep last night. It was terrible. You slept way better? Wow, that's good. Oh, okay, Lord. Yeah, I mean, I was so disappointed. So I forgot, like, so my upstairs bathroom, that's the reason why we need to fix this. In my upstairs bathroom, we have one of those dimmer switches in there. Well, then all of a sudden, like, the thing probably gave out, like, I swear it's been like a month and a half or 2 months maybe, and we've never fixed it. So the only way that you can see in that bathroom is if you have the hallway light on, you know, or it's daytime, or like you bring in the flashlight on your phone, basically. And wow, it's 4:13 where you're at? Holy smokes, dude. So that's the only way you can light up the bathroom. Well, I forgot last night. I'm like, shit, after the stream, I'm like, damn it, I forgot to shave. So I had to go shave. Well, so to do that, then I had to use the downstairs bathroom, and I was also all out of sorts yesterday, trying to get ready for this trip. Out. Then I had to go pay the tolls online, because PA has that stupid thing, the stupid we'll bill you later kind of thing with the plates, the light by your license plate. So the only way that I can pay that is, like, I have to wait for them to send me some in the mail and then bill me online. And am I on the highway yet? Yeah, dude, I am. I got on the highway probably about maybe a few minutes ago. 271 south. I go 271 south to 480 west, and then basically take that to the Ohio Turnpike, 80, Route 80, or State Route 80, whatever it is. And then that like 80 becomes like 76 or something like that. I don't know. All I remember is that aside from just getting to the turnpike, getting to PA is actually very easy because there's literally only 2 exits you have to remember to take, which is pretty cool because it's pretty much just, other than that, it's pretty much just a straight shot driving. That's the only good thing about the trip actually, is that there's not a whole lot of interchanges and exit. SmackDown was in Cleveland last night. Oh, so I heard they made a match. Hey, what's up, Luke? I heard they made a match where it's supposed to be. Oh, yeah, that's right. Derek was saying it last night, or someone was saying it last night. The U.S. title match between KO and AJ Styles with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee or whatever. That's just so weird. I mean, I feel like, Preston, I think you saw the pay-per-view match, right? How that match ended. I'm pretty sure, I thought they said that's not how it was supposed to end, but I thought what they were trying to do with that match is I thought they were trying to create some type of controversy, like, oh, whose shoulders were down, but they didn't really make anything out of it. Like they could have like took that angle and did something with it, but instead they just, it was like, okay, well, you get a rematch, now you get a rematch to your rematch. That feels kind of boring to me. Yeah, I heard about it. I saw it, Luke. It was unfortunate. Because it basically maybe somewhat overshadowed that Alan Jackson, who made that diving catch over the wall and robbed that dude of his home run hit, dude. Like that was, I didn't get to see the actual play, but the only thing it really does though is it allowed Boston to jump over New York, so it allowed them to jump over New York and take first place. The Indians are still first place in our division though, so I'm not too worried right now. I'm not too worried about that just yet. They'll just have to find out how, if they play Boston later on or in the postseason, then they're obviously going to have to figure out how because I think they played the first game at home, and I think they didn't get shut out, but they lost by like 3 or something like that. I don't know, it was like 5-2 or something like that. Then yesterday, that late game's like, ugh. Yeah, well, I heard that it said that John Cena is supposed to be in. He's supposed to be doing being in some Hollywood film though, dude. So that kind of makes sense. So he's basically gonna be gone. So, but at least they did something with Nakamura, right? Because they could have just. Because, he hasn't really gotten any, great matches since he came in. If they're trying to push this guy as, someone big, John Cena's the guy that you throw him at and let him get big, Burb. Pop-Tart. Come on, people, please. Why are you... Get that F out of this damn lane, bro. These are the things... This is the stuff that makes me, take so long to get to PA, is freaking slow-ass drivers, man. All these slow people. Like I said, I can one-hand the steering wheel and drive better than these guys. And these guys are like, come on, please. Get over. My cousin posted something online today, or I think maybe it was yesterday. She posted something online saying oh yeah, I was driving back she was driving from out of state back to Ohio. And, it's like, oh yeah, I had my baby in the back, and this guy comes inching left towards my right side, and so I get over to avoid him, but then the guy keeps inching over again. So then he basically was cutting over multiple lanes and didn't even realize that he had someone next to him on his left. And then she said that she ended up actually having to pull over. She ended up having to go onto the shoulder. She drove on the shoulder and like basically just slowed down or stopped on the shoulder just so that she could let this guy pass her, so that she didn't have to worry about him hitting her. And I said, well, unfortunately, you know, your post is not going to change the world of drivers. You're always going to have those people, but that's why you, like, whenever you drive, you always got to make sure that you know what you're doing and you're watching what everyone else is doing, because that's the only true way to avoid accidents, is to know where the hell everyone else is on the road and what they're doing, and just kind of looking at how they're driving, because some people you can tell, like, either they're drunk or something's wrong with them because they keep weaving back and forth or whatever, they veer towards one side of the road or the other. So you just got to pay attention to what other people are doing and make sure you avoid accidents. Supposed to be, yeah, doing some weird, hey, what's up, Calden? How's it going, dude? Yeah, they're supposed to be doing some sort of weird Transformers thing. I mean, although I don't like Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal, it's kind of like, oh, please, dude, what are you doing in this lane? Get out of this lane. Why are you even here, bro? Like, this is what I hate right here. See this guy? Look, we're driving 65. This guy is in the passing lane for some reason. Please, you fuck, get out of the way. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing? Oh my god, dude. Please. Just fucking idiot. What are you doing? Fuck out of the lane, man. Try to teach people how to drive, man. In VA, he would get a ticket. Well, I mean, he's driving let's put it this way. He's not driving less than the speed limit. He's driving exactly the speed limit. Maybe a little bit over. So I think he's driving like the allowable. So let's put it that way. So like, he's not driving too slow, so to speak, but he is in the lane that is traditionally known as the travel lane / passing lane, so on and so forth. Yep, you have to pass cars if you're in the passing lane. Yeah, this guy is just, yeah, I hate when people do that. Like, people, I mean, I get it, but people try to play the high and mighty card, like, well, I mean, but I'm driving the speed limit, so, you know, I'm not going to drive faster just because you want me to drive faster. I mean, I get that, but if that's the case, then get the fuck over. Get the fuck over. Get out of my way. Like the Mystical song, move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Like this guy here, another one of these fuck faces. Another one of these fuck faces. Yeah, they are apparently cracking down on that PA. What, the not passing in the passing lane? Then you decide to get over. See, that's the other thing too, is then people are like, oh, I didn't realize that you were trying to pass. It's like, if I'm riding your ass, dude, kind of. Like, I try not to ride people because then that makes people mad, and I don't want to cause unnecessary aggression. Plus, you know, people are going to work right now. I don't want to piss people off. But it's like, dude, if you see a car, if you're like looking up in your mirror and you see a car inching closer and closer and closer to you and you're not going any faster, then that should be telling you something like, oh, ding, you know, maybe I should move out of the way. But no, for most people, it's just like, I guess I'll just sit here and allow him to piss me off. I don't know. If not, they want you in the middle. Yeah. Well, that's why they should have. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just there's not a lot of. I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I don't know that people don't necessarily travel that much in Ohio. But I feel like I've been to other places before, other states where they have signs and they tell you like when you're on the highway. Maybe it's like Florida or something. Or I know they have that in California. I thought, where they have like travel lanes. You know, basically they tell you like what the lane is designated for. So they need to do stuff like that. I don't know. Or people just need to learn how to drive better. Just get out of the way, man, you know? Just get out of the way. So Calden, what's going on, dude? When you leaving again? When you leaving the band camp? Hartford? Yeah. Guys, we are, so as of today, we are officially 3 weeks away from our cruise. 3 weeks to the day away from our cruise. Oh, snap. And then, like, well, 2 weeks and 6 days from when, 3 weeks, no, right? No, 2 weeks and 6 days, right? Yeah, from when Madden comes out. So Madden 18 Goat Edition will be available as of 3 weeks ago yesterday. In, like, Jacksonville. You want to die from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So where are you at? Are you actually already there, or Calden? When do I come back from my cruise? We're supposed to be back like it's like that following like Monday, I think it was. Like Sunday or Monday or something, because the cruise is 3 days, so we're supposed to be going, so technically, what the plan is, because I didn't realize all this until my wife explained it to me the other day. So the plan is that we fly out there on Wednesday, we stay there Wednesday night, and then Thursday's the day of the cruise. So then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the days of the cruise, and then we would get back. Well, it was 3 nights, 4 days. So basically Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we get back on Sunday. And then presumably we'd fly back in Sunday afternoon, or I don't know, or maybe we fly back Monday or something like that. That part I don't exactly remember or know. But I'm pretty sure we get back Monday. Because I think my wife said she also took off. She took off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday. So, and I took off Tuesday through Tuesday, I think it was, right? So the 22nd through the 29th, whatever that is. And then we didn't, the one thing we didn't realize through all this was that I forgot that the week after is Labor Day Monday. So essentially, in theory, I think the first Monday in September is Labor Day. So we'd come back. I'd have like 3 days left in my week, and then we'd have a 3-day weekend because of Labor Day Monday, and then a 4-day week. So that's actually kind of cool. You go to the school. Hartford is a series I pre-recorded. Oh, the Hartford Whalers, sorry. I thought you were going to like some different state or something like that to go to band camp or something weird like that. That's what I thought you meant, like you were like, you said you were leaving or something. So I thought like you were actually traveling somewhere to go to band camp somewhere. You have 5 days until school, Jordan? Ugh, that sucks, dude. You and Michaela are in the same boat. Jordan, are you from, like, are you in the States or are you in Canada? Trust me, dudes, I know that feeling more than anything, man. School, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not telling you, I'm definitely not telling you that you should not like school, but I'm telling you that I know that I absolutely hated school so much. Alright, I gotta get this ticket real quick. Ba-bam. Oh, you little shit. That little mother. I swear he like slowed down just so that he could like try to cut me off when we got up here. This freaking truck. Dude, please. Please, truck. Sorry. Oh my god, dude. What the? Why did you have to go that far to the left, dude? Do you not know how to drive your truck? I swear this guy looked like he was in a wreck into the guardrail. Damn, bro. You're not driving a car right now, dude. You got 4 more years left once you're done. Oh, once you're done with college. Oh, so I mean, so you mean your 4 years is college, right? Or are you saying you got 4 more years left before you go to college, and then once you're done with college, then you'll be happy? Oh, the camp is nice. You're 2 blocks away. Psst. Oh, I thought you were like going somewhere, doing something with your life, but instead, no, you're just gonna stay at home, be a loser. No, I'm just playing. So, guys, we had like, oh, I forget how many views we had. We had a lot of views on the Madden video last night. Although it didn't seem like there were that many people in the stream, so I don't know if there was a lot, like somehow people get to watch it even though it's unlisted afterwards or something. I'm not really sure, but it had a lot of views, which is kind of interesting. I think that first one we ended up with like 950 or something. But I definitely want to go back. I mean, we had like, well, back around the Super Bowl time, we were getting like, you definitely get more. I mean, we were getting like over 1,000 like a video or something like that, so that was pretty good. But we're getting close to that. I'm pretty sure. I hope that when we get to the Super Bowl, or at least the divisional rounds, that then we start picking up more attention. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. You never was a school kind of guy, but you'll get through it. You're happy to continue. Hang on. Oh, please, people. Look. Really? Really? Come on, man. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? It's a race to the finish. Dun, dun, dun. Will the guy with 20 cars on the back of him beat the guy with no cars on the back of him? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? God, please. Hey, what's up, Clorox Bleached? You had 952 on the AFC one? Yeah, it was like, I knew it was like 950 something. But there was the one yesterday, it's still unlisted. I didn't get a chance to publish it because I was trying to rush through and get stuff. But, oh, so you said you'll continue to golf through college for a team. That's cool. So, Hinkle, you trying to become a professional golf player? Please, look at this. They're still going at it. Someone win this freaking fight. I have very high respect for don't drink beer, drink bleach. No. So shit, now I forget what I was gonna say. Oh, I have very high respect for guys who drive semi trucks. Like, I will let them pass in front of me and all that kind of stuff. Like, I try to be very nice to them because I know that these guys are driving on the road for countless hours a day, more than my 2 hours back and forth. But at the same time, like, come on. Like, this is a situation where I'm like, you fuck. Like, at some point you decided that you were going to sit here and trail next to this guy. Move the F out of the way, dude. Please, the guy with like 20 cars on the back, he might win. And then we've got traffic building up behind us because these fuckers don't want to drive. I mean, it is technically a construction zone, but oh god, please, no one drives. They're still racing, yeah. Drag fans will like it, yeah. Here they go again. Look, they're still going. Oh, the truck's pulling ahead. He's pulling ahead. Oh, he's gonna cut him off. Oh my god, don't run into him. What are you doing? And he pulls ahead because he realizes the construction zone is over, and now everyone else can drive normal speed because you guys are losers. You both lost in my mind. I'm sorry. You both lost. And then here we go. Bye. Bye, truck all the way back there. God. Don't die? Dude, I won't die. I'm not gonna die. Well, I mean, I'll eventually die, but I'm not gonna die in my car. Unless I'm like Randy Savage or something where I have like a heart attack driving. You both are losers. Yep. Denied. The only thing I like about driving to PA right now is at least that at least it's but like during the winter season, like, well, before the the time change, man. Oh, driving to PA is it's so terrible because you can't see shit. Like, it's so dark outside in the morning, so that when you're trying to, you know, make sure that there's no police on the road that you can run into by chance or something weird like that, then it's very difficult to see police vehicles on the car. PA sucks for driving. I mean, it depends. I mean, yeah, there's that bridge I come into, dude, that is like, that's the worst part of my drive, I'd say. There's a bridge, it's like off of, it's close to, it's like 376, close to 376, that the effing thing has, I'm a noob, don't judge me. Or I'm not gonna judge you, dude. Yeah, PA is Pennsylvania, dude. I guess maybe I should start spelling it out. I don't know. But I think it's more for people, see, like, people, so now that you know Clorox bleach, though, like, most of the people who watch me consistently know that I travel to Pennsylvania, so, you know, once you know, then you kind of know, so, yeah. You're going to be driving from my little town to Poconos on Saturday. You have a 2-hour drive up to PA. Oh. Where in PA are you going, Hinkle? PA sucks for driving, nothing like Boston. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, my strips of land are everything I drive on is pretty open, so that makes it good. Guy looked like he was damn near about to fall asleep in his car. He's like, I look like I'm about to fall asleep in my car. NYC. Buffalo was kind of a bitch to drive, or actually no, not to drive to New York City, but I remember driving to Niagara Falls was kind of like a pain in the ass. At least one year. I mean, the second, because I remember what happened. I remember one year we went to go drive there, and they had some huge snowstorm, like literally, I think it was a snowstorm, but it was still nice out. So I don't know what the hell happened. Something happened where the highway that way was closed. The normal highway you would take to go through Buffalo to get to Niagara Falls. And like, that was before you had like that's before you had cell phones like this, where you could just like pull out a cell phone, oh, hey, tell me where I need to go. That's when you had to have, if you didn't have a navigation system, then you were kind of effed. Well, we didn't happen to have a navigation system, so we had to stop. There was a lot of people stopped at Walmart buying maps and stuff like that because no one knew like where the fuck do I go? Like, everyone just knew I just take this road and I just keep driving. That's back when the day where you would print out directions on from MapQuest or Yahoo Maps or something like that, turn by turn directions. You print them out and take them with you. That's what we used to do. So, God, I'm making myself feel old. What motivated me to join YouTube? Well, I mean, I think once I saw that there were at least some amount of people that seemingly enjoyed watching the videos that I posted, my like sports related simulations, then I said, you know, hey, why not just do that live? Plus, I was trying to do live streaming on Twitch, but Twitch is very competitive, like, and it's so saturated with all the same shit. I'm not saying that YouTube isn't saturated with all the same shit, but I managed to find success on YouTube. I managed to already be partnered on YouTube, so there's a lot of things that I could immediately take advantage of being on YouTube, whereas with Twitch, I would have to grind like crazy to, and I really don't know what I would have done to do it. You know, I was still a noob at live streaming altogether, so now that I know how to do a little bit more, you know, could I go back to Twitch and maybe be better? I don't know, maybe, but again, it's just, no, Bakerbot is not up. Dude, it can't be up, man. I don't leave it up when I'm not here. Plus, I'd have to start it when I was at home, and then I wouldn't be able to stop it, and yeah, so I don't start it before I start driving. Twitch is too easy to stream on. Well, I mean, it's easy to stream on, but it's not easy to get views. It's definitely not easy to get views on, because everyone's doing the same thing, just about. guys. All right. And we're back. Yeah, so this would be an interesting day today at PA. We're supposed to talk about some planning type stuff, and so I spent yesterday putting together my project plan, or revising an existing project plan that I had previously put together, and sent it over to the people that are going to be involved in the meeting today. And I'm sure they're not going to like what they see, but I don't know. I mean, it's certain decisions were made over the course of the project that we've been working on, and now they're going to be crying because they're going to be like, oh my god, how are we going to meet this date now? And be like, I don't know, because you guys decided that you didn't want resources on there. You don't want people, no one can be committed to spending time on it. So it's like, I don't know what you want me to do about it. Since you guys won't let me own that, like, really, and make the decisions on resources, then, you know, people stream more CSGO than other games. Yeah, that's kind of, I still find that kind of weird, because that game's pretty effing old, isn't it? So, I mean, if you were to switch to Twitch, I'd watch, but I wouldn't be able to comment because I'm never, ever, not getting a Twitch account ever. I mean, I'm not saying I would switch to Twitch, dude. I'm just saying that it was just more of like a hypothetical. Like, I think I could go back and maybe there's a chance I could get viewers because now I have a better idea of how to do certain things, but, you know, I don't know, man. But it seemed like, see, when I was on Twitch, though, when I went to Twitch, it seemed like I would get more people who would want to watch Minecraft-related stuff than Madden. Like, if I went in there and did some, like, because I knew a guy on there who did Madden simulations, and he kind of spawned my idea for some of the stuff I do. But he was bad. He wasn't bad, but first off, his mic quality was terrible. Second, he would never talk to people during the simulations, which I know there's some people that liked that, but he wouldn't engage with his crowd, his audience, during the actual simulations. And I'm like, well, that's kind of boring. Like, if you want to chit chat or whatever, but yeah, the house is located near Jim Thorpe, somewhere near Penn Forest, though. So how bad did the purge hurt your channel? Like the channel deleting inactive accounts? Oh, nothing at all, dude. I mean, there's been some drop off, but I mean, last I checked, I mean, unless it changed from yesterday, we were at like 4423 or something. So we gained like 3 or 4 subs yesterday. So I mean, we're still under 500. Well, sorry, under 600 left for 500 for 5,000. So I mean, yeah, nothing's really hurt the sub count too bad. What's the purge? Damn, I really need to clean these windows, man. You lost 33. Wow. It was probably Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, whoever was making all those accounts, or maybe they didn't get to mine yet. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's why I always tell people, like, don't sub to me unless you're gonna watch, because I don't like when people sub and then, you know, it's like if one sub is not equal to one viewer, then don't even sub. I don't know if that was part of the reason the purge was the reason why I was stuck at like seemingly like 4,000 for so long or something. I don't know. Maybe not. But I remember we hit 4,000 like 10 times, I swear, before we finally got past that hump. Look. What a nice view. We're still in Ohio. We're still in Ohio. Whoa, that's cool. So what's going on? Show us when you get in. Okay, yeah, I'll show you when we get to PA. I don't like when I get in the PA though, man. I get mad when I get in the PA. I give the welcome to PA sign the finger. Sorry, man. I just, I don't. Look at that sunshine. Oh my gosh, my eyes. It's nice and sunny today. Oh god. Geez, thanks. Well, I mean, dude. That's not about you guys, though. So what's gonna happen this week? What's gonna happen this week in politics? No, it's not how I feel about you. What's gonna happen this week in politics, guys? So, in the course of 6 months, like they showed the thing, in the course of 6 months, Donald Trump's staff has lost like 7 or 8 people so far, or they've had to replace 7 or 8 people. What a mess, man! What a mess. And now they had some story come out yesterday about, what was it? There's 2 stories that came out recently. There was the story that Donald Trump was the one who dictated that Donald Trump Jr. say that the meeting with the Russians was actually about adoption instead of just being transparent and telling the truth. So there was that. And there's multiple sources that are claiming that to be the case, when of course they're vehemently denying that, but Trump will fire Mike Pence. And then the second one was, I saw this thing where someone said they're suing Fox News for like misquoting them on something about the guy remember the guy from the DNC who was found dead. Apparently this guy was like investigating it, like he was a PI who was investigating it. It was on Fox News to talk about it or something like that, and then now the guy's suing Fox News because they've claimed that they misquoted it. They misquoted him, and then they said something like he was going after the president too, because the president was the one who supposedly had okayed them publishing the story because he wanted it to distract from Russia or something like that. So they said that basically he was looking to like do whatever he could to basically like unseat the president, and like I don't know, it was really weird. I mean, I don't know how much merit there is in the story, but it was just something that I just saw yesterday. You've been too busy to follow politics? Well, holy hell, bro. Since you've been too busy to follow, so Calden, then did you know that Donald Trump hired that Scaramucci guy and he already got fired? If you haven't followed in the last 11 days, then you may have missed one of his newest communications director get hired and get fired. I think that's got to be the shortest tenured government employee under a president's staff probably ever. 11. He made it. Well, I think it was 10 full days was his tenure, and this was the guy who he sold his business. He sold his businesses before he went to the White House, just so he could sit with Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump ended up firing him. Remember, this is the guy who was responsible for helping them get rid of Reince Priebus. Just effing pathetic. And then when the General Kelly, or former General Kelly, came in, then he asked Scaramucci for his resignation because it needed to be less like, he said the White House needed to be less like Game of Thrones. That's pretty good. I like that. If Fox News got debunked about fake news, then what about CNN? What do you mean? I mean, I mean, the thing is that, you know what? Honestly, I don't even know if I want to even get into that conversation, to be honest. I mean, so here's my thing. I created my political news channel, and I want to start publishing things to it. But here's one of the things I'm going to say. I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. People go on those channels whether it's Fox or whether it's CNN, or even if it's just debates. And really, these thoughts kind of spurred from the debates I saw this weekend at Politicon, because TYT was there at Politicon, and you had Anna Kasparian. She had a debate with what was it, Ann Coulter? Oh God, Ann Coulter. Wow, dude, please, that lady is like so. Oh God, like you just listen to some of the things, the way this lady thinks, and you're just like mind blown. Like, you're retarded, lady. Remember, this is the lady who said that. She said smoking weed makes you retarded, and then she turned to the audience and like put her hand out, implying like you guys are all retarded, because she didn't like the fact that they weren't cheering for anything. They weren't cheering for anything that she was saying, because the things that she was saying they were nonsensical. Like, why would you even say some of these things that you were saying? So apparently weed makes you retarded, and then she implied that, which again, even if there were studies, I mean, there could have been studies for this, but this wasn't exactly the time to bring that up, I guess, because then she started implying, like, Anna's like, well, then why is it that, you know, people of different ethnicities end up going to jail like X times more than white people? And then, because they said it's found, studies have been done to show that white people smoke weed as much as, you know, other colored people smoke weed and all that kind of stuff. So then Ann goes, well, she's like, there's been studies done to show that, like, you know, for example, when an African American gets pulled over, for example, they're 10 times more likely to lie than any other race or something like that. What's that got to do with anything? And then she's like, and people don't go to jail for just doing drugs. People go to jail because when they get pulled over for that infraction, it turns out that there's like a warrant out for their arrest, or they've got some other type of infraction against them that force them to go to jail. So she was basically trying to offset the idea that everyone is in jail because everyone really is a criminal. They're not in jail because of the fact that they're privatized prisons that the government essentially makes money off of people being in jail. What is my political channel called? That's YouTube Politics, I think, is what I called it. I haven't posted any videos on there at all. I mean, the thing is, though, is that my channel is going to be more about, like, how do we get people to come together and debate, like, without being underhanded? Because the one thing I notice about all the debates is that everyone wants to throw in a pot shot at someone else. And it's just like, guys, we're never going to get anything done if we keep doing that. Like, seriously, we're never going to get anything done if people keep... And honestly, I don't know if this is like... I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think it's like... maybe it just... I think it just happens to be more prevalent because of the time we're in right now, the situation we're in with Donald Trump being president. And, you know, I mean, unfortunately, it's because of him that... I really feel like, unfortunately, it's because of him that it seems like people are even more divisive than usual. You know, it's like everything's about, well, you're liberal, you're Democrat, you're Republican, you're GOP, you know, you're about big, you know, it's like, and then everyone has like these implied ideas or implied, you know, just because you're a Democrat means that you're for this, and this, and every single case that you could possibly imagine, and just because you're a Republican means that you're for these things or this type of ideology, like for all cases where you think it could apply. I mean, the way I look at it, Chris Rock said it best, like, Republicans are idiots, Democrats are idiots, man. Like, anyone who makes up their mind before hearing the issues is a fucking fool. And that's essentially where we're at this point in politics. You looked it up, you can't find it? I mean, it's like YOOTUBE Politics is what I called it. It's a second channel. You're a constitutionalist? Oh, God. Well, and they gotta stop with the labels, too, or all that dumb shit. I mean, I think that's dumb. But, I mean, just after hearing those debates, man, oh, dude, Cenk Uygur, oh, see, the thing is that he was honestly in a good position. You could tell that during his debate, he debated some guy who seems to be like some type of like young kind of up-and-comer or younger looking up-and-comer like Republican guy, or at least respected. And for some reason, I'd never heard of the guy until that night. they Cenk started explaining the concept of trickle-down economics to the crowd, because he said something like, oh, well, you know, they tax you more on this because then these guys get the taxes and they go to the wealthy get less tax because then they can get more money, and then they can, essentially that stuff is money that can find its way back down to you, and it's trickle-down economics. It doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And the audience, like, people started laughing. Like, people started laughing about it. And Cenk's like, look, if you're laughing about that concept because you don't understand it, he's like, you need to go Google it. He's like, it's unfortunate that we have that many uneducated people in the crowd. It's like, oh man, like, to some extent, you kind of like, you feel good knowing that I'm not saying that I support everything that they do or say, but it kind of makes you feel good, like, if you support, like, what the Young Turks do, or even just the idea of what they do, and then Cenk gets out there and just, like, kind of punches people in the nuts. You kind of like just want to cheer for it, but at the same time, it's like, but you immediately, by doing that, you immediately just, like, shut down. Like, everyone that you thought would be listening to your message is no longer listening to your message because you basically just insulted the entire crowd. I mean, it's just like, it was funny to watch, but it was just it was not a good situation. You could tell most people there were not for him. They were definitely cheering for the other guy, and I feel like people. But at the same time, I feel like people think, like, oh, the other guy won because the crowd, he got more cheers. And it's like, that's not what it's about, dude. I mean, it's, people will cheer for anything, you know? People will cheer for anything just because they want to feel like they're winning, you know? It's just, I don't know, it's just weird. But either way, like, after I watched those debates, like, it made me just realize more and more that, you gotta step away from the whole, like, well, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, who gives a shit? They were also talking about safe spaces. Please, I just eye roll at that stupid thing, because I know, like, I mean, there's been a lot of discussion recently about safe spaces, and I remember one of the guy who represented the Republican Party, this guy was just like, he was basically, my understanding of what he was saying was basically like, you shouldn't be allowed to have safe spaces, or if you do have safe spaces, then the safe spaces have to be approved by, like, people that have to include people that have diverse opinions and all that kind of. And it's like, that makes absolutely no sense. That kind of defeats the point of having a safe space. There's nothing wrong with having, like, people who believe the same way that you do, and being able to go back and talk to those people to reaffirm your position or stance on something. Or even after you talk to them, then you're like, you know what, I guess there is no merit to this, and maybe I do need to, change my train of thought or something like that. But it's funny how much people bring up this thing of safe spaces, and primarily it's been brought up by the Republicans, because the Republicans are the ones who, remember, they came up with the whole, like, oh, you're a snowflake, go back to your, Democrats want to run in their safe spaces and stuff like that. Well, so when Donald Trump goes to a rally after, all this tumultuous crap that's going on in the White House, if he goes to a rally, how many non-Trump supporters are at those rallies? How many Democrats are at that Trump rally, or how many non-Trump supporters are at that Trump rally? Zero, right? So what can you call that? I think that's called a safe space. So I mean, it's just funny how, like, it's Trump's safe space because he has some place that he can go to rally people who are for his cause, which is exactly what people on both sides do when they don't get their way, or when they disagree with what someone else is saying about their opinion. And it's just like, or the ideology. I mean, it's such, like, there's such hypocrisy, in both sides to an extent. But like I said, the the Republicans are the ones that generally bring up this whole idea about the safe space and the fact that it exists and that it shouldn't exist. And you know, like I said, this, if it were up to this guy in every household, if you primarily were Democratic, that what he would basically be saying, well, you need to have at least one Republican in your household. Like, we're gonna have to assign a Republican representative to your household to make sure that when you're at home, you don't have safe spaces. Non-Trump supporters are always at gatherings. I highly doubt that, because anytime I've seen, so there may be a few of them, because anytime, I remember seeing when he was campaigning that the non-Trump supporters, what would happen to them? They would get escorted from the building. So, I mean, you can't say they were really there. I mean, they were there to protest, but they're not usually inside. They usually can't even be inside the building because I've seen the protesters, but that's not the same thing. I'm saying, like, it's not like he's there saying, hey guys, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Let me ask for ideas from you guys. Like, let me reach across the aisle, so to speak, and ask you guys, like, why are you mocking me so much? Or why am I unfavorable amongst you guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he's there to try to garner support from people who don't agree with his ideas. He's there so that basically people can fuel his arrogance. I mean, that's basically the reason why he does it, is please make me feel good. Please make me feel good. You know, that's basically what he's there for. It's not because he wants to it's not because he wants to really, like, understand, like, why certain people dislike him or why they're having a tough time agreeing with the things that he's doing or anything like that. You know, he's not there for that. Yeah, I don't think so, dude. Not necessarily instigated violence, because all people were doing. Remember there was the lady who stood in the crowd at one of the rallies who was like, she was a Muslim or something like that, or she wasn't even necessarily Muslim, and based on the way she was dressed, and she had like the star on that said something about, like, I'm a Muslim. I can't remember what it was. And basically they went up to that lady. She did nothing, and they escorted her from the building. Why is that? I'm not saying storming up to the stage is okay. I mean, don't pretend like I'm condoning people who are just idiots and do dumb things. But I'm saying that if you're in a crowd, remember, there were people in those crowds that had signs up like, I don't like Trump, or they had chants that were going on, and all the people around them were so hostile and screaming at them and telling them to leave and say, you know what, you're not an American. And it's just like, wow, people, like, if, like, in my opinion, a true professional would be like, look, stop heckling the people. Like, they're not, why aren't they American? Because they're here expressing their freedom of speech. I mean, no, that doesn't make them un-American. That's them taking advantage of their liberties that they have as an American. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, Colin. Hey, thanks for stopping by, dude. Appreciate it. But I would say, you know, and Luke, maybe you didn't imply anything, but you know, that's the one thing that I think, like, everyone's got to stop doing too on both sides. Is I really feel strongly that both sides imply that just because, like, because you make a comment about one thing, saying like, oh yeah, I think there should be this, or I think I should be that, all of a sudden, like, everyone takes that to, like, the nth degree. Like, oh, well, because you said that, well, then you must think this really, really horribly bad thing is, like, really awesome or something like that. And it's like, why would you, like, how did you come to that conclusion? You know, we've got to, like, that mindset has got to get broken. That mindset has got to change. It's got to change. Like, you know, like, again, like, one of the things, the other thing they debated at Politicon was, the other thing they debated at Politicon was, freaking, shit, what was it? Big government versus little government, right? So, big government versus little government. That was the other thing they were debating about. And so, you know, as Cenk replied, because I agree with him, is that there's always this idea that, oh, just because you're a Republican means that you're all about big government, and just because you're a Democrat means you're about big government, just because you're Republican means you're about little government. But as he explained, it's all. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all situational on both sides, right? Like his point was, well, when we were going to the Iraq War, Republicans were very much about big government, but when you're about like something else that the Republican Party isn't known to be in favor of, then you're about smaller government. So I mean, it's not like, it all depends on the issue. And that's really like that's why I said people just got to stop pigeonholing everyone into, oh, you're a Democrat, so you must believe this, or you're a Republican, so you must believe that. It's just talk about the issues and then decide what's needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to imply or assume that just because you're a Democrat, that on every issue is discussed, that you feel like you need big government. Brad Sherman and that whole Politicon disaster. Who's Brad Sherman? And the whole Politicon disaster acted like an idiot? Who are you talking about? I for some reason, I think I might know what you're talking about. I'm not really sure. Oh, he's a congressman. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not sure. It should be legal for medical reasons. Well, that's another debate, man. So remember, there was that story of that mother who... There was a story of the mother who had Crohn's disease, which is a real disease. And, remember, so she had weed. She got weed from somewhere. I can't remember where. But basically she had weed that she would smoke or whatever. Somehow she would ingest it one way or another, however. And then she would basically use that to... She would do that to try to fight her Crohn's disease issues. And she had all sorts of problems, of course, because Crohn's disease, again, it's an intestinal, disease, basically, that could end up killing you. She was using weed to try to counter all the problems that she had from that, and after a while it seemed like she was actually getting better and able to function as a person. She couldn't have a job because of her situation and all this other crazy shit. Hang on, guys, I need to put you to the side for a second. Hi, may I receipt, please? Thank you. So basically, yeah, but see, that's not the thing, though. I mean, I don't know about that should just be waiting for, it's just for people to die who are about to die and need relief from pain, dude. I mean, the thing is that if you can't function in society, and this could possibly be a cure for you to contribute to society and not just have to leech off the government because you're sick. I mean, why wouldn't you give someone the opportunity to be able to do that and participate in society and contribute? I mean, like I said, back to that story, the lady was doing the weed and all that stuff, but they would allow her to go back to work and take care of her kids again and all that kind of stuff. And then something happened where apparently the kid of the mother, he was at a school seminar that was basically telling you, oh, drugs are bad, you shouldn't do drugs, blah, blah, blah. And Jeff, no, I didn't get pulled over by police, man. It's a toll. There's at least 3 tolls I have to go through on the way to PA. So the kid was at a seminar. Oh, here you go, Luke, or guys, this is for you. Hang on, I think this is it coming up here. Yeah, I think so. Look, let's see. Thank you for traveling the Ohio Turnpike. There you go, Luke. See, Pennsylvania welcomes you. All right. So, anyways, but the kid was at the seminar, and then he started disputing with them. He actually disputed with them. Like, no, he's like, it's not just bad for you. He's like, there's actually cases where it can be used to do some good. And then he said, well, my mom was using it to get over her illness and stuff like that, and explained like how she was able to turn around her life and actually be a contributor to society again because of the fact that she was using it. And then they started asking questions. Next thing you know, his mom's going to jail, and her kids are being taken into protective custody because they felt like her having weed was endangerment to her children. But it's like, it fucking saved this lady's life. I mean, okay, maybe she wasn't near death, but that's not a reason to say, oh, well, they shouldn't be able to have a functional life because they weren't dying. I mean, that's not appropriate. I mean, what's the quality of life? Quality of life is subjective, right? So if you're in that person's shoes, then you tell me that wasn't the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're in that person's shoes, you would think differently. All right, hang on, guys. I got another toll. The $7 toll. It's like freaking armed robbery by the state of PA. Might as well be considered armed robbery. Shit. How long was the sentence? Dude, actually, I have no idea, man. I think she may still be in jail, actually. That's the thing. They took her kids away from her, though. Child Protective Services got involved. I'm waiting right now for... Look, they have flow, too, on the picture. Slow down for savings. Like, there's no savings here. Actually, you're just taking my money so I can drive on your shitty roads. I'd have to look it up, dude. I know it was a report, man. The same YouTuber whose dad died on Saturday had it, you think, in 2014. Yeah, I knew someone who I worked with who still has it. He's had it for, I think, seemingly a while. But then you have to have, like, a special diet and all that crazy stuff. I mean, it's just... The pros and cons of getting fired by Trump. I mean, I just feel like it's funny how... What the F? What is this? Is this guy, like, microchip? What the fuck is going on? What are you doing? This guy just stuck something... What the hell? This toll guy just stuck something out the window to this guy, and he touched it. I have no idea why. Like, I'm not sure, like... Is this supposed to be, like, a state employee or something? Dude, you're holding up the fucking line, man. Please. Please. Oh, why did I choose to get in this fucking line? This guy's still here. They're still chit-chatting. I don't know what they're talking about. What's so exciting to be talking about here right now? But literally, these other lines have moved and they've cleared out, and I'm still stuck behind this fucking guy. Can we back up and, like, go into a different lane? Shit. Was it a bomb he touched? No, I don't think it was a bomb. Pretty sure. Might be a drug dealer. I doubt it. I don't know, man. What the fuck? Come on, dude. Please. Bro, we may need to back up here, because this guy is like... He's like, listen, man, I don't have any fucking money to pay this toll. I'm fucked. I don't have a credit card. I don't have anything. I didn't realize I was going to come across a toll. I don't know. Really? That took that long for that? What the fuck? You just gave me a receipt. Hang on, guys. Jesus Christ, dude. Hi. May I receipt, please? Thank you. See, look at that. You should be in and out. You should be in and out of this fucking place in like 2 seconds. It should not... that dude was there for like at least a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Shit. Might be I don't know what it was. It looked like she stuck like it looked like a water bottle or something, kind of like that, or like a screw gun or something. Like I don't know what the hell it was. It just had some tip on it at the end. It looked like it could have been like a water bottle or like a Phillips or a flathead like screwdriver tip or like a drill bit. Basically, that's kind of what it looked like to me. But I'm not skipping your comments, Michael. He's trying to get her number. Yeah, if you saw the lady, and the guy this was some black dude. I'm sure he wasn't trying to get her number. I'm almost certain of that. So yeah, hang on. Actually, let me get a drink of my cafe mocha here. All right. There we go. You sounded pissy when you were talking to her. Well, did I? I mean, I didn't. I just said, "Can I get a receipt?" I mean, that's all I usually ask them is make sure I get my receipt. Well, yeah, I was kind of mad because it's like, dude, like sometimes those people will be personable and they'll talk to you. I told people, but yeah, she didn't look like she was that type. So, time to get ready for your day to begin. Your day starts at 8 a.m. Turn the AC again. It's getting warm in here. Even though it's 65 out, it's still pretty warm inside here in this car. Still pretty warm. Nope. Sorry. Dropped you guys. It seemed like we had more people here the last time I went live too. Maybe because people were surprised. I don't know. Or maybe because it was a little bit later. I don't know. But yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing is I think like we just instead of like we just need to be like we need to be using the mindset when applying we need to use a different mindset when we're trying to apply like things that we would normally like. I don't know. I guess our ideology. I would say it that way. We need to be more diverse or think differently when we're applying our ideology to everything. Because I don't think it's fair to people of our country to just say, well, because I believe this way, therefore nothing can ever change. Like I always have to believe this way, and there can never be any exceptions. And you know what I'm saying? Like I guess that is a political view. I would say. I mean, that's my political view on things. Is that we just got to be more open and diverse about our solutions to things, and not just be so like, well, my party says that we're like this. My party ideology is this, but therefore, like, I need to enforce that to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like everyone gets caught up in that, like, way too much. And we gotta throw that shit out, man. You know what I'm saying? Luke, that's gotta be the platform that we run on, dude. Like, that's the platform I want to run on. Is just, like, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I'm a freaking human being who, like, wants to do what's right for the people. That's what matters, right? That's what matters is what happened if you skip this trip. I mean, I can't really skip it because, well, first off, the only reason why I'm taking the trip is because I didn't plan on actually coming out here this week because they said they were having visitors and because they said clients are going to be out here. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just not go this week. I borrow my cubicle and stuff. But Luke, so if you take, like, honestly, this is an honest question. If you take, so based on what's happened in the first 6 months of his presidency, or 7 months of his presidency, of all the things that you raise as your pros and cons, how many of those things has he even touched on any of those things for you? but anyway, so I was saying, like, the only reason why I made the trip though was because my boss had sent us an email the other day saying, hey, we want to get together and talk about, like, you know, planning for the next couple of months, and so we want to understand where things were at. And so and then he invited me to a conference room out there, and so I was like, well, I guess that means I'm going in. Like, it wasn't like you know, well, yeah, here's a call-in number you can call into or anything like that, blah, blah, blah. Look, there's a FedEx truck stopped. Oh, he must have broke down. He's being repaired or something. I'm not sure. Sucks. The fact he's going to open the local power plant to keep the job is satisfying enough for me. I truly, really don't care about the other stuff. Well, but, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, but what do you think about, like, the whole coal thing, though? Like, I mean, like, you know, remember he promised coal miners, like, oh, we're going to get back the coal mines and all that kind of shit. But don't you think that we're honestly at a point in our life where we're kind of at a point in our development as a country where it's like, we don't really need coal energy anymore. Like, we need to be focused on clean energy and stuff like that, not freaking coal and all that kind of shit. We don't need to send people back to mines and shit like that. And I know, like, I'm not going to say that, like, I heard Bernie Sanders, remember, and Bernie Sanders is the only one doing this, by the way. Bernie Sanders went to that debate. He went and debated, or not debate, actually. He went into the town hall with the Republican supporters of Trump, primarily. I think that was, like, mainly the whole audience. And they talked about, like, the coal mines and stuff like that. Now, I mean, the thing is that I think, like, they need to be, like, America needs to be focused on moving on past that shit. Like, if you really have people's best interest at heart, then you need to find out, what can we do to help these states find a way to retrain people to do work in, you know, different places where they can become more intelligent and do other things like that. I mean, there's places that literally have taken people who have come out of coal mines and they've trained them to be IT professionals, for example. Why the fuck aren't we doing that? Why the fuck aren't we doing that for the rest of these guys that are basically stuck in these shit jobs that essentially will never go anywhere again? Or, you know, or instead of, like, trying to promise them that we're gonna, you know, give them their shit jobs back, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, their profession is wrong, you know, or that they chose the wrong profession. It just happens to be that they got the short end of the stick, you know. It's something that is no longer practical for the country, and so we need to find a way to teach them to do something that's more practical for the country. Well, no, I mean, I understand that, Luke. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying though is that instead of trying to promise these people that we're going to get them back to these jobs, because coal mining is one of the things that kills people. I mean, you get, like, the lung disease. To give these guys an opportunity to, one, make the, you know, that can let you go other places and think about doing different things. The skinny repeal. Yeah, sorry, I hit a mountainous area. Alright, sorry, it was a mountainous area, dude. Yeah, but see, Luke, they need to have, if they're gonna repeal, they need to have a replacement at the same time. They can't do, oh, well, let's just get rid of it and then go back to the way we were, and then, well, maybe along the way, because the thing is that once you get rid of it, it probably, you may never see it come back. It may never come back. You need to, if you're going to repeal, you need to have a replacement, and a replacement that's going to work for everybody. Not a replacement that's going to work for, well, I mean, everyone except for like 22 billion will have to get off of their insurance. Really? No, that's not how it works, man. Like, or you spend time, like I said, you spend time, find a way to make changes to what's there. You know, instead of like everyone wants to be like the owner, the one to say like, oh yeah, that was me, I did that. Instead of like, you can still say that even though you changed the existing thing. You know, it's still called, that's the Affordable Care Act. That's the actual name of it. You know, people can call it Obamacare all they want, whatever. But technically, that's not the name of the act. It's the Affordable Care Act. So, fucking find ways. Look at the things that are detrimental to it and why it's not working. Step one. I mean, again, this isn't like this isn't rocket science, right, guys? I mean, I think we all know this. But look at what's wrong with it. Find out how you can make improvements to it. Pass bills, do whatever you got to do to alter the act, and then you're fucking good. You know, why do you have to make this huge thing? Like, why does it matter who pushed it through or who didn't push it through? I mean, who gives a shit at this point? If you care about the interests of the country and the people of the country, stop taking sides. Stop worrying about if it's a Democrat who's doing it, if it's a Republican who's doing it. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that bugs me, is that, like, to me, that shows that no one has the best interest of the country's best interest in mind. Because if you're willing to let your political ideology and your party basically get in the way of doing the right thing and making good decisions, then you shouldn't even be in your job. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have with the fact that we have this two-party system, is it tears everyone apart, and it kind of, like, it makes people always have the jockey for position, because everyone wants to be like, well, we did this or we did that. You know, it's like, who gives a shit? Just fucking do what's right for the country. Was the voice that kidnapped? No. That was the that was my sorry, that was my the GPS that I have going. It's called Waze. If you've never used it, or your parents never used it while driving, I would highly suggest it. It's called Waze, W-A-Z-E. It's an app. Some other company owned it before. Google bought. Construction on road ahead. They either bought them or they bought the app from the company, because it uses Google Maps. So now it's integrated with Google Maps. And basically, it's for people. It's where people like me or other people on the road can report like accidents, construction, cops, that kind of stuff. And so basically, it speaks out and alerts you to traffic conditions and stuff. Remember, and Trump was the one who also said that healthcare costs $12 a person too, Luke. So let's not forget about that. Remember, Trump is very disconnected from. You know, the thing is that, and from what I've heard from other people, from what people have said, based on interviews with people in the Republican Party, is that when they started working on this new healthcare bill, aka Trump Care, which, you know, again, this is dumb. When the Republicans started working on this healthcare bill, a lot of those guys have come out and said, well, typically the president will kind of give you like some insight as to what he's thinking and what he wants to do with it and blah blah blah. But they said basically Trump gave them nothing. So I mean, they're trying to come up with this stuff themselves, which, I mean, to some extent I kind of understand that, but at the same time it's like, but I mean, okay, if the tradition is that you're expecting the president to kind of give you at least some general, like, okay, we need to make sure we have this, we need to make sure we do this. These are kind of like the bullet points of what we want to keep in mind when we're coming up with this bill. Well, his bullet points was like a blank page, basically. So it's kind of like, that's, yeah. Your parents' GPS doesn't work properly. You spend like a half hour trying to get out of Charlotte at your vacation. Nice. Yeah, but Waze is pretty good, man. I use it all the time now when I travel. I used it when we went down to South Carolina as well. When we went down to South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, I used Waze for that. That definitely helped. Hey, what's up, Mad Monster? How far until Pittsburgh? We're close. We're getting pretty close. Let's see, we're at exit 36. Oh yeah, so my exit is 50. So I've got 14 exits. So I feel like it's probably about well, hopefully less than a half hour. Hopefully like 15, 20 minutes maybe. Or less. What's up, Iron Blocks? Where are you going? I'm going to Pennsylvania. Mad Monster for work, dude. But Luke, you have to. Everyone is waking up now. Yeah, apparently. So Luke, but you have to agree. I mean, maybe you don't, but I kind of feel like if you've looked at everything that's transpired over the last 7 months in terms of like the White House staff and all the crazy shit that's been going on in there, you can't tell me that you honestly look at that and don't think like, wow, like people should have some reason to be concerned about what's going on. And also given the fact that, remember, Russia hasn't gone away yet. It hasn't been prominent recently because there's been, well, until the whole recent thing about Trump supposedly knowing about his son's original, Donald Trump Jr.'s original statement to basically lie to the media and not be completely transparent. But aside from that, you haven't heard a lot of that recently because there's really nothing new that's come up. But we got to keep in mind that there's still a Robert Mueller investigation ongoing, and a lot of those, there's certain prominent Republicans in the White House that have said that if Donald Trump fires Mueller, there's going to be, well, what was it, that Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, if Donald Trump fires Bob Mueller or whatever his name is, that there's going to be holy hell to pay. I mean, if he does that, then he's guilty. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. If he fires the guy who's not like on any side, I forget what they, impartial, investigator or whatever, then he's guilty and he needs to go. Because our democracy is at risk if he's able to fire that guy, get away with it, and then appoint someone who favors him and his family. Our democracy is gone. Like, honestly, if that happens, there needs to be a revolution. Like, I'm not necessarily preaching violence or condoning violence or anything like that, but I really feel like there needs to be a revolution if he fires that guy and gets away with it. Because that is not acceptable. Like, if you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be worried. But I feel like he's worried, so that tells me that there's some level of guilt there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what bugs me about it. What do I do for work? I am a software developer manager. You can say that he would agree. Just feel that people shouldn't worry about every damn breath he makes. Well, but the thing is, dude, is that I don't think people necessarily worry about it, but I think people... Jesus Christ, dude, why the fuck would you just, like, stop like that? I don't think people are necessarily worried about what he's... Well, worried about every time he speaks, but at the same time, you kind of have to be, because you wonder, like, what the F is going through this guy's mind when he says what he says? Like, it just... Or just stop talking. It's one thing to be transparent and be, like, professional about it and be presidential about it, but it's another thing to, like, act like you're talking to your high school buddies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to come off, like, you need to present yourself in a more professional way, because you're beyond just being just an everyday civilian in the country. So, I mean, I think... If you think about the things that he says and the way he carries himself and the way that his administration has carried themselves, you have to question something about, like, is this really how you are outside of the president role and it's just now under a microscope because this is where you're at? I mean, if so, wow, dude, like, you got a pretty messed up outside life. When did he say something unprofessional in the White House? I'm talking about the tweets, dude. Look at his tweets. Everything that guy has said on a tweet is, oh, she looked like she was bleeding from the face. Oh, she was bleeding from, wherever. That kind of stuff, that's unacceptable. That is not presidential talk. If you could you imagine if someone like Obama, if Obama said something like that, do you know how bad Fox News would be dragging his ass through the mud? Do you know how bad the GOP fan base would be, like, just... calling for him to be impeached or or calling him a Muslim, or again, there's that whole thing. But either way, it's just like, come on, like no other acting president could actually say something like that. And I realized the Megyn Kelly thing wasn't when he was president, but he was still in the primaries when he was saying that. You were still trying to compete for a spot to be the president of the United States, and you're talking about women bleeding and calling women fat slobs and pigs and all that kind of stuff, dude. Come on. It doesn't matter if you're in the White House or not. There's no, you're as a president of the United States, you're president of the United States 24/7 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no break. So just because you're at Trump Tower versus you're in the White House doesn't give you the excuse to say, well, I guess I can tweet unprofessional things right now because I'm not actually in the White House, or I'm not actually saying it to people. But these things are on his mind, and he's tweeting his mind to the people in the country and the entire world. Yes, but okay, so remember, the Mika Brzezinski comment was when he was in the White House as president, saying that she showed up to Mar-a-Lago bleeding from the face from a bad facelift. That's unprofessional. He said that while he was in the White House, because of the fact that she said that he had tiny hands. Really? And so therefore our president cannot take take any level of criticism. You know how much criticism Obama took? How many Republicans do you think gave that guy shit for, you're not really a American citizen, you're a Muslim, you weren't really born here, your birth certificate was fake, blah blah blah. And what time did Obama get on Twitter or even say in public, like, oh, you guys are a bunch of assholes, or you guys are a bunch of losers? It's just like, you just can't do that kind of shit. Yeah, but Luke, you got to have thicker skin as the president of the United States, or anyone in any professional position. You can't just let people get to you and just like start going all full retard. You can't just go all full retard, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, I think when you get older and if you're ever in a position of power, like even mine, for example, like if some employee came up to me and said, like, you're an asshole or something like that, like, you can't, like, my first reaction can't be like to basically just counter and start saying the same shit back to them. You have to have thicker skin than that. You have to be able to remain calm under pressure. Because what if it's Kim Jong-un? What if it's Kim Jong-un? What if Un is going, what, Trump, you're the biggest pussy in the whole wide world. What is Trump going to do? Oh, well, I'm going to nuke your ass. It's kind of like, no, we can't have that kind of shit, dude. You got to have a better temperament than that. I mean, it's not like, oh, boo-hoo. It doesn't matter if it was from dude, it doesn't matter, Luke, man. See, that's the thing, is that I know that everyone wants to make an excuse. Well, it wasn't when he was in the White House, but then I gave you an example of when he was in the White House. Oh, well, I mean, but that's nothing. Now we're dismissing things. See, that's the thing, is that we're allowing this to become a normalcy in our environment, in our world. This is not normal. That's the one thing that everyone needs to get through their head, is that this is not normal, and this should not be expected to be the new norm. Because otherwise, if this presidency and his actions is expected to be the new norm, then we can only expect our country to slowly degrade and down with future presidents, potentially. Slander. You allow basically the president to slander people, slander civilians of the country, just because he doesn't like what they're reporting, challenging the news media because he doesn't like what they're saying and that they're not looking as nuts. I mean, come on, dude. Like, that's just not normal. You can't accept that to be the new norm. There's no excuse for any of the things that he does. Whether he's at the White House at the time or not at the White House at the time, there's no excuse for any of that stuff that he does. If they were smart, if that Kelly guy was smart, he'd be like, listen, motherfucker, I'm taking your fucking phone and you're not tweeting anything. Like, I'm gonna crush this sumbitch. and you're not tweeting anything because you're making yourself look like a fool. You're making us all look like fools. Done. End of story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, case closed. And that's one less thing you have to worry about. And he stops sticking his foot in his mouth. Because that's the only thing that he does, is he sticks his foot in his mouth. No sign of JS so far. Yeah, I don't know, man. He came back just that one day, and I thought he was going to be back again afterwards. I don't know what happened. But see, that's so the focus of my... Well, if I could ever get it started... What's up, gamer? How's it going, dude? That's why I like... So when I actually... If I actually get to uploading some videos on my... political channel, you know, we're not really going to be talking about this kind of stuff because I don't want to get into it. I really do not want to get into talking about this kind of stuff. Oops, that's not the right one. It's not to talk about necessarily like current events, but it's more to preach about or just kind of introduce thoughts of how do we get better at politics as a country? Like, how do we get out of this kind of this rut that we're in right now with so if you ran for president and all the perverted and vulgar stuff in your chat can be used against you, I mean, I'm not sure because I'm not really saying perverted or vulgar stuff in my chat, so I mean, I'm not sure. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they're not. Nothing being used against him is things that other people were saying, and he was guilty by association type thing. It's things that he is actually saying out of his own mouth. So that's a vastly different thing. If it's something I'm saying, sure, bring it up. But I mean, if I can find a way to rise above it and still somehow find a way to get in, then, you know, so be it. You allow it, so then now I'm supposed to be so what you're saying is that Donald Trump should be the arbiter of Twitter or any type of social media now, so therefore he needs to personally make sure that people can't swear on Twitter or on Facebook or YouTube or any other form of social media or Snapchat. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't hold any merit, dude. That people are people and they're going to act the way they are. I mean, you know, if Trump was trying to do that, then first off, if I did that, that would be a form of censorship, really. I mean, that would be a form of censorship. I called you a stripper earlier. What? You've been here for 20 minutes. I didn't even see you say anything, gamer. Well, yeah, but I mean, to some extent, people get like timed out and shit like that, or messages get deleted for various vulgarities and stuff like that. So I think I do what I can to make sure that people don't swear, but I can't obviously stop every type of occurrence of it. So I mean, I'd be able to say, well, I did what I could. I did the best I could to try to prevent people from from using vulgarities in my chat because
vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
I didn't find it to be nice or kind or respectful in some cases. Yeah, but somehow you're saying that translates to me being president is the fact that other people are allowed to saying certain things towards me or towards other people. I mean, again, it's not like, that doesn't really align with anything that I think we've been arguing for or against. I'm not saying these things towards people. People aren't trying to stop me from saying it. It's the other way around. It's not like Donald Trump's like, oh, well, you shouldn't say this because you shouldn't say this because I might this might be used against me or anything like that. That doesn't make any sense. But if someone's discussing something with you, you have an option to decide whether or not that's a worthy conversation of having. You can exit from that conversation and just say, you know what, this isn't, like, I don't want to even be part of this. Or you could say, well, just grab him by the pussy. You have those are your options. And Donald Trump's case, he chose to grab him by the pussy. That's what he said. So it's not like someone egged him on and said, oh, what would you do? Or no one egged him on to say, other than someone commenting on his small hands. Remember that, because that's literally all they did, is they commented on his small hands, and then his turnaround, his rebuttal is, oh, well, you got a facelift and you were bleeding from your face when I saw you, and I turned you guys away or something like that. It's just like, really, dude? Come on. Like, the guy's so full of himself. Am I proud of all the stuff I say behind closed doors? I don't know. I usually try to be respectful of as often as I possibly can. But the thing is, dude, is that, so if you know you're being recorded, like if you know you're on camera, because I believe that all those things were instances where they were caught on camera. Like if you know that there's a chance that you could be recorded, that kind of stuff. Or see, like for me, like I'm different. You're different in public. He was really in public at the time. He wasn't necessarily behind closed doors per se. He was in companionship with his friend or whatever. But they weren't necessarily behind closed doors when he was saying those things. But yeah, typically, like, the way you present yourself out in public is different than the way you present yourself around people. But we're not seeing any difference between the two right now, right? We're not seeing a major difference between the way Trump treated people or talked to people in those conversations, with the exception that he's not necessarily using vulgarities right now or slandering people of certain races or ethnicities or genders necessarily. Indirectly, he kind of is with the whole transgender thing, but that's a whole different thing. Yeah, but again, so if you go back to the tweet about the facelift, and bleeding from the face, that wasn't a conversation between Trump and other people. Trump could have easily just called up like that the Morning Joe show and would have been like, guys, look, I don't appreciate when you guys do this, like it doesn't put me in a good light, or something like that, instead of tweeting to the entire world something to try to make himself feel better. That's my point, is that, you're in a position now where you shouldn't be trying to bring things to light. Because honestly, most people, I would have never known that would have happened if he wouldn't have ever responded back. Like literally, this whole thing would be a non-story if he would have never responded back. But he decided, he had a choice. Either be a little baby and respond back because someone said something negative about me, which again, what president has never had anything negative said about them? Tell me one president that never had anything negative said about them. Come on, you know that it exists. But it's up to you as a human being to decide whether or not you have thick enough skin to take it, or if you want to respond back, and then if you do want to respond back, how you respond back. You can either be professional about your response, or you can choose to go Trump's route, which is just, I'll take digs at you because I know things about you personally, and I'm going to go ahead and try to stab you with my knife, my butter knife. So that's not acceptable, man. I'm sorry, it's just not acceptable. I don't care how you look at it. It's not acceptable. Oh God. Wow. And again, this is only, and again, like a lot of these things that have been said have been only in the first 7 months. So, like you said, in theory, we have 3.5 years left, but we don't know that he's necessarily going to make it 3.5 years. So we'll see, man. Like I said, like if he did something like that was kind of like, wow, oh my God, like that was like the coolest thing that like a president could ever do, or that was like the rightest thing that you ever did, like. If his Twitter feed was more like positivity, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that I necessarily like him anymore, but I guess it would kind of give people like a better sense of his state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just seems like a grouchy old man with a vendetta against anyone who ever says anything bad against him. He's got some self-esteem issues. He's got some he's got some self-esteem issues. He's got some security issues. To have to, you know what I'm saying, to have to try to do things to make himself look good. Or make him look like he's strong and he's in power and he's the bigger man. But the bigger man doesn't insult people in public. The bigger man says, you know what, I heard you said this about me. You know, come on. Like, let's grow up, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you have to say. Like, it's simple. You don't need to be like an ass about it or a dumbass. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much here at this point, just about. So yeah, it was a good talk, I guess. Is there really only one person in here right now? I'm not really sure. Or just no one else is chatting. Shows only one person here, I think. But yeah, so anyways guys, so maybe on the way home we don't talk about politics. I think on the way home I'll stream again, but I think we should do like another Q&A or something. So if think of some questions that you guys want to ask me for the ride home. That way we can talk about something. We can have a positive discussion. Something positive. Wow, really? There was a dead spot like right in that little valley. But anyways, so yeah. So thanks guys for watching, guys. Appreciate it very much, dudes. Like you said, I should probably be streaming my way home around 3, as long as I don't have some late meetings that all of a sudden pop up or anything like that. So yeah, so yeah, until then guys, I will see you later. All right, I love you, Luke, I love you, dude. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, dude. Take care, man. Hey, take care, everyone. Bye.